Tuesday, and I am so happy to see you. I'm in my home studio this week. It's lovely. And I'm still finding surprises my husband left me for the 3 weeks I was away. And it's not the surprises you might think, because some of you might think that means dirty dishes and laundry, and it doesn't. So let me go into the chat to see who's here. Hello, everyone. Leave a comment to let me know where you're coming from. I am visiting you from my home today in New York. And if this is your first time here, that's a big deal because I've been away for several weeks. My sister and I take turns with our elderly mom, and my sister was out of town for a while, so I've been gone for a couple weeks. But I am now home again, so no puppy dog in my studio. Oh, what did I do? Joan, I hid you. I don't know what I did. Hi, Joan. How are you? It's good to see you. I don't think I even waved as I drove by yesterday. I was so tired of driving by the time I got by your house. Hello, Dina in Huntsville, Alabama. Yeah, I don't think we're that hot here today, but I'm sorry that you are. I think that's probably normal. Hello, Carol in Florida. Joan, I'm glad I'm home too. I had fun in Pittsburgh. I made it a fun trip and did lots of fun things. But it is good to be home. My first day home's never really a very productive day. I've done a little laundry. I packed some orders that came in while I was gone. And I'll cook dinner and do a little bit of work, not tons. But I have a few things to show you. I am so glad to be home. I went to bed last night and didn't even when I went to bed, my husband was not there. When I woke up, my husband was not there. I know he was there in the interim, but I slept like the dead in my own bed. Hello, Patty. It's good to see you. Hello. So, yesterday I drove home all day, which is about 7 hours, 8. It's like 6 hours in perfect traffic. It's never perfect traffic, and sometimes you need to gas up the car, gas up yourself, go potty, things like that. So I was home in under 8 hours, which was good. 7 is kinda 6:55 is the shortest it's ever taken me to drive it. So yesterday was 8:30 to about 5, so 7.5 hours. But that's when things went sideways. So, I took a bunch of frozen things to cook for mom. And my sister's middle trip got canceled. So you may have seen them on in the back of my video last week. My sister had a change of plans, and it wasn't really worth me driving home to drive back for her third trip. She had 3 back-to-back trips. So she came home from this one, canceled this one, and I would have just had to drive home and then drive right back. So I stayed there. But when there's a bunch of people in the house, a lot of our dinner plans had changed and things like that. So I brought some food home. And my goal yesterday, because everything in my house is up a flight of stairs. My car is down a flight of stairs from the house. So I wanted to carry my cooler in because I still had some pre-made frozen stuff. But yesterday was a threatening to rain sort of day. And do you know when it hit? I loved not driving in the rain, but when I parked, so I was trying to lug the cooler out. I wanted to get my my drink up to the car, myself and my drink up to the house, and then I wanted to get the cooler up to the house. That was it. And the rest my husband could take care of later. But that's when the sky opened. And then when I opened the trunk, stuff started falling out. But it was a complete gully washer of a downpour. So I'm picking stuff up out of the driveway in the downpour, trying to get my cooler. I came upstairs and had to towel off and change clothes and wring out my dress, let my hair dry because it was just plastered to my head. It was insane. So I'm inside getting changed, getting dried off. Fortunately, I had some clothes on this level of the floor, so I didn't have to walk up another flight of stairs. New dress came in the mail, so I was like, we'll just put that on until I can get my suitcase in, put on some clean clothes. And then I went to unload the cooler into the fridge and freezer, and that's when the power went out. So it was just was total chaos for about 30 minutes. And it was fortunately one of our shorter power outages because I live on the Appalachian Trail. There are like I'm 4 houses from the end of the town, end of the county. When we lose power, we are not the first to get it back, and we shouldn't be, because you should put back, entire towns, entire neighborhoods, just not a couple houses. So I'm not sure what happened, but fortunately, my husband came home because I just called him to let him know the power was out. I don't always have enough cell signal. Like, I don't have um, data. That's the D word I was looking for. I don't have data, enough cell signal out here for data, but I could get a phone or a text out sometimes. And the phone usually works here on the Wi-Fi. But he came home and started the generator and unpacked my car, and we just hung out until the power came back on. So that was good. But yeah, it was a little crazy, bit of a homecoming yesterday. But slept in my own bed, and I'm back. So let's see. Dina, you saw 9 shops that I visited. I did. I saw 9 yarn shops, a chocolate shop, 2 bakeries, a hand-pulled noodle shop. Yeah, I had some fun. And hello, Annette. It's good to see you here. So, when my sister originally had planned this trip, the first trip, which was the first week, and I'm like, "Yep, I'll be there, no problem." And then she said, "Oh, I just booked my second trip, and it's the day we get home Saturday and leave Monday." I'm like, "Okay, I can stay, no problem." And then I was like, "So I'm gonna be in Pittsburgh for 2 weeks, and I don't have a lot of people there, like my childhood friends." I got married when I graduated from high school and had kids right away, and they went off to spring break. So I don't have a lot of back home friends and things like that, because we drifted apart with different stages of life and stuff. So it's not a huge social time for me. But I did last year when my sister was on vacation, one of her vacations, I stopped in the local yarn store. I'm like, I should go to the local knitting store because I knit. And I walked in and it was in the middle of this yarn crawl, which we call shop hops and quilting. And it was really exciting. So I got on like their mailing list and stuff. And I realized that I was going to be at my sister's house for 2 weeks. And then the yarn crawl was that week. And I'm like, so when I was there in May, I went and signed up. I bought the tote bag. I got my passport. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make time because I'll be there for 2 weeks and there's 9 shops, even if I do one a day. 2 shops, it made sense that you had to do together because one shop was over an hour east and one shop was an hour and a half east, and you had to pass one to get to the other. So those 2 kind of had to be done together just because they were so far away, but near each other. But yeah, I did them. I did all 9 shops. We're not going to spend an undisclosed sum of money. Came home with a great big bag of yarn, which is sitting at my feet here, and I had fun. I got to visit shops, and I looked up all these different towns around Pittsburgh. Like, what's that town known for? Is there something fun there? What could I do there? And that's how I found bakeries and chocolate shops and a hot dog shop and a hand pulled noodle shop with dumplings, and just had some fun with it. So I did it alone, and that's not usually fun for me. Like, if I want to go somewhere, like, I don't want to go alone. It's more fun if I could have if I could have a friend come with me, or if I'm going out to do something non-quilting, non-sewing, to have my husband come with me. That would be more fun. But I'm like, I'm going to do this alone. And I actually had a great time. I went to 3 bakeries. Sorry, 3 bakeries. I just remembered the one in that other town. Cookies. So that was fabulous. 2 thumbs up. Highly recommend. If you have a shop hop or a yarn crawl or something like that, and you don't want to do it alone, I understand. I understand that. But do it. Take it. You are worth it, if it's fun for you. It was worth it for me to put in the gas mileage. One day I was in the car for 6 hours because it was an hour and a half to the furthest shop and a half hour to the other shop. There was traffic. There was some other things. There was a lot. But I was out of my house for 6 hours going to those 2 stores. But I scheduled it, and I planned an easy dinner when I got home for me and Mom. So, yeah, do it. I encourage you to do it. And it actually is giving me courage if there's other things around here I want to do, to make myself go do them alone, because I normally don't. I'm quite a homebody when I'm not working. I went to Primitive Gatherings out in Indiana. I'm sorry, out in Illinois. Somebody just commented they're from Indiana. Hello, Judy. I'm glad you're here from Central Indiana. I'm sorry about the storms. May the power stay on. Ours didn't yesterday, but it was a really short power outage. Weird for us, but grateful. Hope all goes well there. May the trees stay tall and the power stay on. And hello, Anne. It's good to see you. I see your full name there, and I'm glad to have that identifier because I know another woman with your first and last name, but I know her maiden name, and that's not it. So it's good to have two Ann Cohen friends. So yeah, I'm having some courage to go do a few more things myself. Although having been gone for 3 weeks, because after my sister scheduled her 2 trips, she was like, "Oh, and by the way, I have a third trip coming up." And it was a nest. Like one was vacation with her kids, and the third one was a bridal shower, an out of town bridal shower for her son's fiancés. I mean, stuff she had to go to. So my sister, and she's allowed to go on vacation. She's retired. She can do whatever she likes. Cindy, hello. How are you? So that was a fun trip. I also went and got my toenails done. I also get my hair cut when I'm in Pittsburgh. I like take self care days there because I'm away from home, and that's a little tougher for me. Um, and I get my hair cut when I'm there. I stop and see my in-laws. So I make a lot of plans while I'm in town. So, Jeanette, you are crocheting a simple top to wear the New Jersey Sheep and Fiber in September. Ooh. Googling New Jersey Sheep and Fiber. Fiber September. What exit? Because I'm north of New York City, but Jersey's not far. I'll check it out. And I haven't crocheted in a long time. I used to make like lace tablecloths and sweaters and things like that, but I haven't done the I never say this right, amigurumi. I have one. I have one wooble to make. Shockingly, it's Hello Kitty because a dear friend got it for me because she thinks I might have a crush on Hello Kitty, which I totally do. But yay for crocheting. And I have a sweater I want to finish for the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in October. So I understand the concept. Ooh, a cute springy top. Fun. Oh, I don't know if that was the sweater that she's making or mine. This is yet another dress. I wear the exact same thing every day. I have a uniform. These are from Land's End. There's this one cut that's really comfortable, and it fits me well. And I wear it every day, either as a dress, or with shorts, or with pants, or with pants and a jacket. So this is just what I wear. It's good to have a uniform. When they come up with a new color, I buy it. And this one came in the mail yesterday, which saved me from the holy cow. I am dripping. It was like I got out of a lake, is how hard it was raining yesterday. So yeah, I'm home and looking forward to the Sheep and Wool Festival in New York. So let me show you the end of my 9-shop shopping. So I saved one shop. I did a couple shops since I saw you. So I think this was it. Where's this from? Is this Sewickley? I think this is a new one. Yeah. Oh gosh, I have a lot I haven't shown you. Okay. Because I was like, I talked to you last Tuesday. So Wednesday, I went to Squirrel Hill with my sister. And because my sister was in town and we wanted to go to a restaurant. And in Squirrel Hill, what did I find? In Squirrel Hill, I got this. Is this it? Sweater Weather Fibers. And this is a dyer in Pennsylvania. And I think this is a blacklight yarn. So this will be for some fun socks. It's called Vaporwave. So that was a fun one. So I got that. Trying to remember how far back, what have I shown you? So I did a lot before my sister came back, I think. So you've seen a lot of this. think this is the one I want to get out next. This is going to be some baby bonnets for my 2 youngest grandsons. It's a little knit bonnet that ties under the chin and has little bear ears here. They both had them from when they were babies last winter, like newborn and 6 months, and now they need the 18 and 24 month size. I think this is going to be it. This is from Stottlemyre Shetlands from Charleroi, Pennsylvania, which is south of Pittsburgh, about half hour, 45 minutes east of Washington, PA. And the sheep's name that this yarn came from is Everly. So I'm going to make them a bear hat out of this sheep. I don't know if I showed you this. I got this in Bellevue. I think I showed it to you last week because it was 40% off. Hello. I'm going to put that to the side for a second. I got this at the same store. They had a pop-up shop. So this is going to be a chevron shawl, and it's an uneven striped, weird geometric shawl. And I always look at things that are in the pink, red, peach area. So that's for me. Got some sock yarn, got some more sock yarn. Oh, wait, got some more sock yarn. And then I went to the shop that's closest to my sister's house, real close, like a couple minutes away. And I made a jacket, a little bolero out of this yarn that I got in Pittsburgh, May or something. And I didn't like the feel of it. I didn't like the fit of it. It just wasn't a comfortable fit. It looked okay, but it was really physically uncomfortable. Like I was going to tug at it. So I ripped it out. I'm like, so I have all this yarn. And then I'm like, what am I going to do with this yarn? I have more of this. But I went and bought some more of the same yarn to make a sweater for one of my grandsons, or 2 of my grandsons. So we have some brown, cream, kind of a wine color, crimson, a dark green, and then a dark aqua. And that's going to be a baby sweater. So I put that together. That's coming up later. And the reason I kept, where did it go? There's more yarn missing. Oh, there it is. So I went back to that yarn shop closest to, so I got that at the close yarn shop. And then they also had a mystery bundle. And they had bigger mystery bundles, like a sweater's worth of yarn. But what if I don't like the color? I don't want a sweater's worth of yarn. I'm like, okay, fingering weight yarn. Could be sock yarn, could be not sock yarn. But fingering weight, I know what to do with that. 2 hanks for $15. Okay, I'll play. Oh, look what I got. This is Madeline Tosh and Shibui knits. This is called Speckled Ice Cap, I think. 2 skeins of this. But what do you think about this? I could make a striped sweater or 2. 2 kids or 1 for me out of this. And if I put in some black or brown or dark gray. So yeah, I had some fun. I love when you get a good mystery pack. We've done mystery packs of fat quarters and scrap bags and stuff like that at quilt shops. This is the first time I bought one at a yarn shop, and I could not possibly be happier, like at all. Like I was afraid it would be a color I didn't care for because I don't really like a lot of, but this, fabulous yarn. Pretty excited about that. So now I just have a bunch of knitting to do. I came home last night and started a sweater for a baby, but I realized I bought enough to make a sweater for grandchild number 4, and I didn't have enough yarn and had to go back to buy a 3rd skein. Well, he's a year old now. So I still have that same amount of yarn in the what if he's a girl color, and I realized it's not enough for a sweater either. So I started it last night and I ripped it out. But I'm sure I'll find something to do with that. It'll be a nice little hat, pair of mittens, something like that. So that's the yarn. Since I saw you, finished pair of socks. I wore them so they're a little stretched out and stinky from yesterday. but it has a little diamond stitch pattern here in the ankle. Guys, I wear short socks. I'm in heart failure, so my legs swell. I have to wear short socks because if I wear anything touching my legs, I get that balloon effect. But I stopped to see my mother-in-law when I left town yesterday, and she was highly concerned that my socks weren't going to match. So I had to wear them yesterday and then take my shoes off when I got to her house to say, look what I did. And she was like, oh, and she just started laughing. She's like, you have to make socks that match. And I'm like, they kind of match. And my father-in-law thinks I'm weird, which I am, and I'm very happy with these socks. And it's just such a classic, fun. I like that blue-green color. This goes back to the preppy days and in my teens, in the 80s, and just kind of love that. So, okay, enough knitting. Moving along. Let's see. Sherry, hello, Sherry. It's good to see you. And Debbie, I'm glad you're here. And Judy, thank you. I love it too. My comments about my mother were so fun. I have 3 octogenarians when I'm in Pittsburgh. I'm there to hang out with my mom, but I also have my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. And my mother and mother-in-law have the same opinions about things. So it must be the 80-year-old mindset, 80-plus-year-old mindset. So I made a quilt years ago, like 15 years ago, and I was binding it when I was on vacation and my mother-in-law was there, and it had this orange pumpkin, like all over pumpkin. It was market basket fabric. So it was all different fruits and vegetables, but this was just pumpkins on the back, and I'm binding it. And she's like, "Oh, I really like that quilt." And then I held it up. It was a crumb quilt that had some weird quilting on it. I actually know I can grab a picture of it to show you. So hold on a second. I know where that picture is. Wasn't going to talk about this, but I will because it's hilarious. Still looking. Talk amongst yourselves. And there we go. Where's my picture? Here it is. And let me share it with you. Share screen. Window. This one. So that was the quilt. That is 15 minutes of play, crumb piecing from Victoria Finlay Wolf. And then I had like a Canadian antique quilt book that was done with whatever blocks, but I liked the setting with the big wide black setting. So I kind of merged the two together. That was the front of the quilt. And I loved it. So I remember sitting, I think we were in South Carolina, and my mother-in-law was watching me hand bind this quilt back when I did that. And she said, "Oh my word, I really love that quilt. The pumpkin fabric on the back." And I'm like, "Oh my word, I do too. This is so exciting." And I stood up and held up the quilt and she went, "I like the back better." And I'm like, "Oh my word." What's funny though is a couple weeks later, I was going to go teach and was passing by my mom, and I took this quilt in, and the quilt was folded inside so that the backing was what showed. And she was like, "Ooh, that's a really pretty quilt." I'm like, "I know." And then I held it up for her, and she's like, "Ooh, I like the back better." I'm like, "What is it with you guys?" So the fact that neither of them are thrilled with my non-matching socks, I'm okay with. They just have the same opinions. Oh, I don't know what's happening. And then the reason that came up with the non-matching socks was I had a pair of socks I finished earlier. I was there for several weeks. I finished a bunch of things. Let me go back. Where's my socks? Socks, socks, socks. Socks, socks. Nope, I'm going to have to go somewhere else. So talk amongst yourselves. Let me find it. Here, here. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. And then I'll share it with you. So I had made a pair of socks earlier in the trip, that were from this watercolor sock. And it was one skein of yarn that was just a gradient. So it started with yellow at the tip of this toe, and then it worked its way down to blue in the heel and ankle, and then started the second sock with blue, and then it was working its way back up to yellow in the second sock. And my mother and mother-in-law both saw this, and they were like, but they don't match. I'm like, they do. They're from the same ball of yarn, they match. They're like, but they're not going to be the same. Cool with that. And my mother and mother-in-law were both very, very concerned with that. So whenever it came time to make those second socks, I definitely had to make them completely not matching, just to play with the elderly folks in my life. Um, so let's see. Dina, they do match. I think so too. I think your socks are fabulous. Maybe you can start knitting again after your carpal tunnel surgery. Ooh, carpal tunnel's rough, but hopefully you can. Um, I'm missing this joint. This is a massive trigger finger, but I knit on the days I can and get some fun stuff done. But good luck with your surgery, and I hope you get even more healing than you expect. So let's see, Dina, your mom tells me today that my sister wants to move in with her and mom, and I said I don't want her to. I can take care of myself. My sister has lived with her for 2 years because of dementia. Yes, we are at fun seasons of life. There are many interesting conversations that we have. So thank you for understanding, and I understand you as well. So yeah, that was fun. Another thing I did while I was in Pittsburgh, my mom, so I stay down the street from my mom, and my mom enjoys watching Pittsburgh sports. So I make her a calendar for every day to say what time whatever Pittsburgh sports are on, because there is no calendar of Pittsburgh Pirates, Penguins, and Steelers. So I have to do a lot of moving around for it, and I print it really big so she can see it, and then I put on doctor's appointments and family birthdays, and it's just 2 days per page, and we can write notes on there like I'm coming for dinner or that we're doing this type of thing, so we can give her some little information. It's kind of like just having an iPad calendar, but mom wouldn't do an iPad, so I put the games on, and I know what time mom's games are. But in my life, Pittsburgh family, my husband's cousin, who the picture of me that I put out occasionally on Facebook at my wedding back in 1988, in the background of the picture is my husband's little cousin, who was 11. Well, he's 50 now, and his son just got drafted into baseball. He plays for a minor league baseball team. He got drafted into a major league team, but he plays in the farm system right now. And he played his first game on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, I forget. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know. Anyway, there were 4 games. He only played in 2 of them, and I know nothing, like nothing about baseball. So I kept joking with my husband. I'm like, is he going to be in the penalty box? Can he make a field goal? Is he going to make a free throw? What's going on? And yes, I know that is football, hockey, and I get it. I understand. But I don't know anything about no baseball. But fortunately, with personal opinion that may offend people, I'm not really big on gambling. Not a big fan of gambling and legalized sports books and stuff like that. And here's the however, since there are legalized sports books, I can go on one of those sites and watch any minor league baseball game I want. They're all because they want you to bet on them. So one advantage to that. So I have 2 games today with my cousin's kid because they had a rain out. So they're finishing one game. So they have a kind of a double header today. And I figured out how to watch it online and taught my father-in-law how to do it on his iPad. But it's just hilarious watching. And I'm like, I'm really nervous. This kid I've known since he was born. He's up at bat. I'm like, oh, I hope he doesn't do anything wrong. And he bobbled the ball once. Like he caught it and had to catch it a second time before he threw it. He made the out. He stole a base. Um, but he hasn't done any. Yeah, I'm very nervous for him. Like, he should only do the best things, and he should be the star of every game. And it's really funny. He's playing in Florida in one of the farm teams, and we have a single A short season baseball team here in my town, and there's not a lot going on in this part of the world. So we average over 3,000 people a night, a game at this, and sometimes they often sell out. It, like, the whole area rallies around the Hudson Valley Renegades. The mascot is a raccoon. Um, so it's a big deal up here. And then I'm watching this baseball game with 7 people in the stands. And I realized it's in Florida where all the farm teams are, and they have a lot of entertainment options down there. So the town doesn't get rallied by. But I'm like, if our whole family went down, because we're all watching online, we would double the attendance at their games, because the whole family is just so stinking happy for this kid who got drafted, and just so proud and excited for him. And we just want him to do really well. Let's see, Sherry, we need fun in our lives, and socks make me smile. They make me smile too, but they also hurt me, because using sock needles hurts my finger. And I got rounder sock needles to maybe not wear a hole in my finger as fast, but it still wears a hole in my finger. So I now have to make a sweater to rest my finger, because a sweater comes on bigger needles and it won't poke right through my finger. Like that split you get in your finger in the wintertime when your fingers crack open. That's what knitting socks does for me. So, Debbie, you just finished using your long arm for the first time. Yay! Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. The things you can do, it's amazing. Thank you for your videos that taught me. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I'm wondering, is that Pro Stitcher you're talking about? Because I know I have some really popular computerized videos on the long arm. I have more of my recent videos are on home machines, but I've also done a lot of videos on stationary long arm. Dina, ouch. Yeah. Ouch. My boo-boo. And then, like, I had cut this finger, so I was trying to send my daughter pictures of me knitting with Band-Aids on each finger. And I had to have my husband take the pictures, because she's like, "How did you do that?" So I'm holding knitting and I have Band-Aids on my fingers. Yeah. Yay, Debbie. Exactly. Pro Stitcher Premium. Good job for you. I'm so happy for you. Computers, do I look like a computer genius? I'm not a computer. I knit. Like, well, I'm not a computer genius. And if my printer doesn't work, I still call my husband at work and say, "Honey, the printer doesn't work." And he goes, "Did you turn it on?" And I go, "Shut up." So yeah. If you're watching those videos I did online, I'm going to apologize that I got COVID at the end of the first video, and I did the other 3, and there's 3 weeks, so I sound terrible, because COVID loves me, and it just takes up residence in my body. And even with antivirals, I'm sick for 2 months. Even with antivirals. Without antivirals, I just don't get better. That was a year of my life the first time. So I'm sorry I sound terrible, but the information's good, and I hope it's helped. Hello, Madeline. I'm glad you're here. It's good to see you. I was not driving. I drove all day yesterday. Done with driving. It's 400 miles. It's enough. I'm really happy to not be driving today. So let's see. I talked about homecoming, talked about baseball, I talked about knitting, I talked about yarn, I talked about socks. Debbie, I was so sick, but did an awesome job. Oh, thank you. Yes, I was really sick. COVID loves me. And I'm so grateful to have survived my first bout of COVID, that I'm okay, that I'm sick. Like, I have a really bad flu for 2 weeks, flu for a week, and a really bad cold for like 2 months. And I count myself lucky. So when most people are like, "Oh my word, I had COVID and I was so sick, I had like lost a whole weekend." Like, if I can get out of this with under 3 months, I'm happy. And I've had COVID 4 or 5 times. I don't remember. My body loves it. It's just like, bring it. I'm also on immunosuppressants, so I get sick a lot. Let's see, man. I'm glad you made it too, Madeline. So I came home, and while the power was out and it was pouring down rain last night, I got to open some of my mail. But I didn't open all of my mail. So I saved some for you today. Let's see. First thing I did open yesterday was my wool box from Primitive Gatherings. And someone had messaged me out for my newsletter asking me what the wool box is. So Primitive Gatherings, big fan. If you know me, you know that. And I'm not there working. Side note, every day, but I'd go to a different knitting store. My mom was like, "Oh, you're going to work." I'm like, "Nope, just a customer spending money." It's like, "Oh, you're trying to increase your business." Nope. No, not the same. But she knows that I work with crafty people, so she just assumes that I'm working. So it's fine. So what the wool box is every other month you get part of a 2-year project, part of a 1-year project, and then some other stuff. So the 2-year project, let me find it, is this. We're coming to the end of it. It is Serenity. We got all those blocks, and now we're working on borders. So I got some border fabric to go with that. Haven't started this yet because I came into in the middle of the 1-year project. The reason I joined it was for this. This is Pennies in Bloom. So we get all of these pre-cut pennies. I was actually playing with some this morning. This is a 1-year project. So this is month 4 of 6 of the 1-year project. And then we got other stuff. So I got a Happy Jack table runner, which is this leaf and acorn table runner. And the extras turn into this little mat. And apparently there was still money left because they want to give you a certain dollar value. Ooh, I'm just opening it now. So I got a little pack of wool, and I'm sitting kind of in a dark corner in my sewing room, but it is a nice crimson red. That is like a darker Williamsburg blue. That's kind of a cream and gray, and this is a lighter blue gray, more gray. And then still in the bag, caramels, because there is a caramel factory. There's a caramel boutique shop near the store, and when they don't make, they just throw a few in here and there. I gave my sister a jar of them that I've collected from the different boxes, but she's not getting this one. Am I eating on camera? Yes, I am. So that's my wool box. And I also have this box. I got other boxes too, but I can't show you those yet. This one's also from Primitive Gatherings. Now, I did a pre-order. Primitive Gatherings, Lisa Bonjean, has a great store, great retreat center. She also writes books and designs fabric. So I just put it in the pre-order whenever she designs something because it's a present to my future self. Oh, good. I was checking out what they did because silly me, I pre-ordered it twice. And then when I got the note that they were shipping it to me, I'm like, I didn't order it twice. I did. So what did I order? I ordered what's it called? Joyful Gathering. So it's a line of Christmas fabric. These are greens and blues. I'm sorry, greens and reds. Now, what I'm thinking I might do is I might make a quilt that is green and white and a quilt that's red and white. I don't need that many more Christmas quilts. But I have this tower, and then I have the panel that goes with it. Let's open up and see what that panel is. Because even though I work in quilting, it doesn't mean I can't have fun buying quilty stuff. Ugh, where's my panel? Okay. Ooh, this is fun. So it's a panel of a bunch of little blocks that I can sew together. So this will turn into a little Christmas quilt or Christmas pot holders. Maybe that'll be pot holders for everyone for Christmas this year. So there's 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 30 different designs on here. So I can either make it a quilt or everyone gets Christmas pot holders. What do you think? Quilt, pot holders. What do you think we should do? Because these are, how big is this? Let me see. Let me get a piece of paper. So I know that's not computer paper. Let me get a piece of computer. I lost you. Oh, there you are. So this piece of computer paper. So this is 8.5 inches. So it looks like that's probably going to finish at 6 inches. So it looks like looks like you cut it at 7. So 6.5 inches, put a little border on it. That'll be fun. What else is in the box? So I have this fabric to go with it. I have some red and white. This is a mini houndstooth yardage. And then what I was really excited about, but I held back to not open it until I saw you today, is she writes a book of patterns that go with each of her fabric lines. Like, I just want the energy she has. Let's see. I'm just going to sit here and look at my book. Pay no attention to me. So this is one quilt is called Poinsettia Lane. Oh, look at that. That's so yummy. I think I need to make that one. You can go buy kits of all of these at primitivegatherings.com. What's this one called? Polar Bear. And I take these and say, that would, even though these are Christmas colors, I can make them in different colors. If I don't, I'm a big Christmas person, but I don't need that many Christmas quilts. I don't do a big Christmas decorating. Winter's Bloom. Let me find the quilt. Ooh, I think this one I have to make. Look at that. That's what it's going to look like. Very Scandinavian. I'm going to get you in trouble. Yeah, I'm in trouble. I'm an enabler. I'm already in trouble. Wisconsin Christmas is some stars. Yeah, I've been looking forward to seeing this book. Oh, and look here. This is Whispering Pines, and it's a big quilt that uses all the blocks in that panel. Okay, how big is it? Do I need that Christmas quilt? Let me see. 80 by 104. I don't think I need a quilt that big. Maybe I'll set it differently, but I could make my tree blocks with each of those panels in them. How big is each block? Let's see. How big is the block turnout? 8 by 10. 8 by 10? 7.5 by 9.5, I think, is the block. I could play around with that and see what happens. Kaleidoscope. Good times. So, yeah, I have fun. And, there's always some wool applique in here. I am going to have so much fun. Still have to unpack and still have to get myself back to work. But it's always fun getting presents in the mail, even if you buy them yourself, which I've done a lot of. Joan, looks like fun. Totally is fun. So let's see. Tonight, I'm going to cook for dinner from that Cooking for Two cookbook. All those meals I had prepped ahead for Mom, but since plans changed, I didn't cook them all. Like, I had put the right amount of meat in a package, vacuum sealed it in the freezer. I'd put 2/3 of a cup of wild rice in a package, things like that. So I will be continuing to make those for my husband and I, because we're also 2 people. And I will give more reviews of what's going on in that 1 pan, 2 plates cookbook. That is probably a little wrinkly now, because it was one of the things that fell out of my car in the downpour yesterday. So I'm going to enjoy being back home and cooking and sewing and creating, because I have some stuff here I just can't tell you about yet. But I hope um, I hope home is the place you're happy to go to, because mine is. And as I was, my desk isn't normally here. I wheel it around to because this is a better background. It's not super neat, but it's a better background. And I realized while I was gone, my husband put new wheels on my desk because I was going to order a new desk. The They were like wheelie chair wheels on the bottom of my desk, and it had rubber rings around the two outside parts of the wheel that rolls, and they had all dry rotted at the same time. So my desk was all clip, 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 and it was leaving debris all over the floor. And so I moved the desk over. I'm like, oh, it's moving differently. It's feeling a little smoother. And then I looked down. I'm like, oh, I got new wheels. So yeah, my husband's sweet. He missed me. He put wheels on for me. Very excited. So that is what I'm doing at home. Madeline, food. Yeah. Yep. And I'm also probably going to make a cake because I took stuff to make cakes. But again, there were more people and the kitchen was crowded, and I just didn't do as much cooking there as I'd planned on. But I have a book called Snacking Cakes. And while I was there, I made banana cake, peanut butter banana cake with chocolate frosting. I forget what other cake I made. Oh, lemon cake with lemon glaze. And the next cake on my list to make is powdered donut cake. I'll let you know how that goes. I am loved. I am. Yeah, he's practically perfect in every way. My mom will say something. I'm like, well, do you ever hear me complain about my husband? And she was like, no. I'm like, well, that's because I don't. He's pretty awesome. I'll keep him around. The one time I did complain about him, I got in a little trouble online because this was maybe 10 years ago. My husband was at he had a work lunch or something that they got boxed lunches, and he brought home a bag of potato chips from his box lunch and put it on the counter, and he's like, yeah, you can have those. And the next day he's like, how were the potato chips? I'm like, oh, they were fine. And I'm like, they're not Cape Cod potato chips, which are the gold standard of potato chips, because those are my favorite, but they were fine. Thank you for bringing me potato chips. And I'm like, what are your favorite potato chips? And he went, my husband, who I've known since I was 11 years old. We started dating when I was 15, got married when I was 18, and I'm 57. So do some math on that. Um, Known him a long time. My husband looks at me and says, I don't really like potato chips. I'm like, oh, where has that darkness been hiding in you all of this time? How can I stay married to you? How did I not know this? And the reason I didn't know it is I never have potato chips in the house because I'll never eat them all. Because I'll eat them all, no matter if it's a Costco bag or if it's a little snack pack. So I don't have potato chips in the house. So I never noticed that he ate them or not because I don't buy them. And he didn't buy them because he don't like them. And he was like, yeah, it's just greasy salt. I'm like, and your point? That's the selling point of potato chips. It's greasy salt. Love it. But I put online, my husband just told me something dark and disturbing, and I don't think I can stay married to this man. He doesn't like potato chips. And while the benefit of that is you can say more for me, the downside is how can someone with such different views in life, how can we possibly get along? But I had friends that were posting, divorce the guy, people, and they were all in good spirit. Um, everyone was in on the joke. But apparently a friend of a friend saw the Facebook post, and then she bought into it thinking we really wanted me to divorce a guy because he didn't like potato chips. Are you really judging someone for not liking potato chips? I'm like, yes, that is evil. I got in a little trouble online for that. But most people got the joke that it was just funny. Um, You've been married 47 years. Congratulations, Dina. I hope to be married 47 years. I have been married 38 and a half, something like that. Yeah, I was almost 19 when I got married. Patty, you think he's great, but I'm sure he thinks you're great. No, I definitely got the better end of this deal. I married up. I'm the hard one to take in this marriage. So whenever I go away, I tell him to enjoy his time without me. That's his reward for putting up with me the rest of the year. So, but yeah, I will make him dinner and a cake tonight, and then we'll figure out how to we'll watch baseball. And I'm like, okay, so the cousin, because there's a baseball game on at dinner time, so the cousin went from he walked to first base, but then he ran to third base without any hits, so he stole 2 bases. And then my husband's like, "No, he stole 1 base." I'm like, "First base, second base, third base. He stole 2 bases." He went, "No, he stole 1 base." I'm like, "I don't know much about baseball, and I'm not the smartest woman in the world, but I can do that kind of math. 1, 2, that's 2." And then he said, "No, because the guy that was trying to throw him out at second base didn't catch the ball, so it was an error. So the third base was an error and not a steal." I don't know. Baseball is hard. It's confusing. So I'm sure I'll annoy the tar out of him while we're watching the game at dinner, as I'm going, "But if he's on second base, why did someone else play second base?" He's like, "That's the shortstop." I'm like, "But the shortstop's at second base." I don't know. So my brain hurts as I'm trying to learn all these new things. But again, it's all fun, and we're just so stinking happy for him having his dream come true, something he's worked his whole life for, and so happy for his parents have dedicated their lives to all of their kids who are all doing great in sports, and we're just again, just stupidly happy. So if you see me wearing minor league baseball gear to support the team, that may be happening. So, but that's what I'm going to do with the rest of my day. Just kind of settle in. Traveling usually takes a lot out of me, so I'm kind of having a lazy day. But I'll be showing you some more work later. So again, I hope home is the place you're happy to come to. I hope there's potato chips there if you like them, that you have some happy surprises in the mail, possibly even some yummy caramels, and that you get to enjoy the silly things in life and learn new things like baseball. So I will be back again next week on Tuesday at 2:30 in the afternoon, New York time. And until I have chemo next Monday. So I'm going to be really red faced from all the steroids, and I'm going to be talking even faster. So rest up. You got to listen up. So until I see you again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and happy quilting. Bye.